1944. The year that the Germans were being pushed back in the east and in the Western Front at the same time. Basically, the year that the Germans knew it was fucked up. But besides that, it was also the year about the wonder weapons, better known as the Wunderwaffen. Things like the V2 and the V1 rocket were created, and the Messerschmitt 262, one of the first operational jet fighters, was created. But there was another special Wunderwaffe created even before that still carried the name 1944 in its name. It could shoot automatic and semi-automatic. It had a detachable 30-round box magazine and used a cartridge bigger than the pistol one, but smaller than the standard rifle one. We're of course talking about the beloved Sturmgewehr 44, better known as the STG44. Although it would never change the war effort, it would certainly change the face of war forever due to its unique design. Basically, the granddad of all modern assault rifles. Although this one is a replica, so hereby not dangerous and legal by law, it still is a one-on-one replica made out of metal and wood and can still show you what it looked like. So in today's episode, we're going to take a look about the STG44. Why did Hitler hate it? Why was it made? And how did it change the war forever? Well, more on that in this episode. So sit back and relax, take something to drink and to eat, because we're going to take a deep dive in the history about the beloved STG44. So let's go. So for now, transition time. So it's the 1930s and the 1940s, and after the German experience in combat, the officer realized we will need another kind of modern assault rifle, or just a new rifle for the infantry, because our bolt action rifles will not cut it. So they started thinking, because at the Eastern Front you have the Russian soldiers equipped with an STG40 and the Americans with an M1 Garand, both semi-automatics that could give far more firepower than the Germans with their bolt action rifles. So they started thinking and eventually sent the design to two manufacturers, but the design by Hugo Schmeider won. It was a gas-operated carbine, and it was named Maschinenkarbine 42. So better known as the MKB 42. And the German troops loved it. They really, really loved it, because it could give enough force and enough power to kill a person while still being controllable while recoil, because it was also an automatic rifle. So the Germans loved it, and then you think, why did he hate it? Because his troops loved it. It went with the philosophy of more firepower equals a bigger chance of winning. So what happened? Well, why he hated it, we don't know it actually. Some people always think it's about his experience in World War I, for instance. He fought in World War I and thought it might have to do with that. Some think it was partially due to him thinking he was the greatest military genius of all time. But the real reason, we don't know. We will probably never know it. But then you think, okay, so he stopped production at the time. What happened? Well, then the German generals did something unthinkable and very rare. They went against his orders and did something behind his back. They renamed the MK42B, so the MKB42, to the Maschinenpistole 43, and said to Hitler it was just an improved version of an earlier machine gun. So said as done, and the production kept going with this rifle. But what happened? Well, Hitler actually found out, and instead of shooting the generals for disobeying their orders, he just briefly stopped production. And at that time, he began hearing stories of German soldiers saying that the MP43 saved their life in a situation that was almost overrun, but due to its immense firepower, they were just out of annihilation. So he started liking the idea of the gun, and he actually shot with it. And he was so impressed by this rifle, he called it the Sturmgewehr, in English called the storm rifle, meaning he would take the enemy positions by storm. But for English propaganda things, they called it the assault rifle. So now you have this gun, and some changes were made that caused the MP44, but after Hitler chose to rename it to the Sturmgewehr, it was called the Sturmgewehr 44, better known as the STG44. So that was basically its creation. So as you see, it had a really hard time being created due to Hitler and all that kind of things. But in the end, it was a great thing because now he had an assault rifle that was easily manufactured, gas operated, could shoot automatic and semi-automatic, and could give a hell of a lot of firepower. So for now, enough about the history of this gun. Let's look into the gun itself. So as I already said, unfortunately it's a replica, but it's a 101 and it still has the same things and design as the real one. So let's take a look. As I said, it took a 30 round detachable magazine. So you push here. Let's place the rifle like this. And you have this 30 round magazine. It would use a round that was smaller than the standard rifle round, but bigger than a pistol round. So it was already a special round, but there were some other things special about this rifle. It was made by pressed metal, making it fairly cheap to make, but also easy to break down. So that was the one flaw about the STG40, is that it sometimes broke or was easy to get stuck, like when firing. But after a time, German soldiers knew how to deal with these things. So it's a cheap rifle that could give a hell of a lot of firepower. As you see here, we have your scope, so you can set up how much you want for distance. And they are using, as you see, in the forehand also this kind of scope. So it's a very beautiful gun as well. But here, so you just pull it, it flies back, and now you can either shoot automatic and shoot 30 rounds in once, or you can shoot semi-automatic, and every time you press the trigger, it will shoot. So now do it. It really hurts here. So, but yeah, let's place this back on the table. So why did it change the course or the phase of war? To change World War II, it was introduced far too late. But although it wouldn't change World War II, it would change the phase of war forever. Because now you have automatic rifles. And you gotta understand the difference between a bolt action rifle and the firepower of an assault rifle. Let's take the K89K. With the K89K, you have you have a clip of 5 bullets. In this thing, you have 30 bullets. So it's already a big, there's already a big difference there. Then with the bolt action, you reload every time you shoot. This thing, you can basically shoot it all at once. So the firepower difference would be very insane, and a group of, let's say, 5 soldiers with STG44s, so with assault rifles, would be able to take a group of 50 people with bolt action rifles. So although it also regards how good can they aim and that kind of things, and there are a lot of things to consider with it, in theory it would be like that, because you have almost the same kind of firepower but far less soldiers. So the phase of war would be completely different. Just imagine all the wars that had happened, like the Korean War, the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, the Vietnam War, all those wars. Imagine them all, but with bolt action rifles. I think it would have been completely different, and I believe that this gun, the grandfather of all assault rifles, really changed the course of history. Not only did it change the course of history, it also helped some other designers. Because as you might have seen, this rifle looks a lot like the famous younger brother, the AK-47. It was actually used a little bit for the design. So not really like this was not really that I took like parts of it and used it for the AK-47. It was more as an inspiration of it, because the Russians and the Americans were both scared of it and thought it was a very good gun. So why do we know the Germans and the Germans? What I'm saying, the Americans and the Soviets are scared of it. Well, there were Americans, so the first time Americans encountered it was during the Battle of the Bulge. So when the offensive was launched, many Americans wrote about it because it was crazy. You had this new kind of rifle, so they were used, the Germans having like bolt action rifles, and then with the semi-automatics and Garand having more firepower. But suddenly they had STG44s that could shoot 30 rounds in less than a minute. And it was a big difference, and they were very amazed by it. So although it didn't change the war, it surely caused a lot of GIs to die and also a lot of Soviets. But for now, enough about the rifle. I'm going to give you some looks about it and I'm going to get back on you. So for now, let's take a look into this beautiful weapon. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was insanely insanely fun to make because I really love this weapon. Oh, my camera is a little... Yes. So, I think it's a beautiful weapon. I really love it. I use it to go on events. My German impression uses this gun. I'm a Volkssturmer, so it was possible that I used this gun in the end of the war. But enough about me, because there are a lot of cool things still coming. Sometimes it's really hard to provide enough content because I'm still going to school as well. And to post a video every week, it's really hard. I'm now trying to post a long-term video every 10 days. So this one will post after 10 days behind my last one, what was the 2024 how to start reenactment video, what was very nice. So be sure to go watch it if you would love to start reenactment, because I have some very good tips for you. But besides that, there are a lot of cool videos coming. I'm going to an event in Bordeaux on the 3rd of February, I think, which will be very cool and where I will meet a very special guest. So be ready for that. And I just also want to make some other videos, but I'm not really, I don't really have ideas at the moment. So if you have anything you would like to see a video about it, either being a topic about World War II or me doing something whatsoever, let me know in the comments, because maybe I'm going to make a video about how to start collecting World War II items. So let me know what you would think about that and far more. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really boosts the channel and motivates me to make more about this interesting topic. So for now, enough talk. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one as well. For now, World War II Guy 1 out.